I let go of everything and I bet on myself. I have always been someone who was intent on finding unique ways to make money. I made money online for the first time when I was in high school. Adele, welcome back to my channel. It is now approaching 2 years that I have been living in Mexico. And I kind of wanted to come on here, share some tips, basically tell my story for anybody who, like me, has been thinking about it, right? I know those of you who are working in Canada right now, you're in an office, you're looking outside, you're remembering that sometimes you have to not just brush but shovel your car off in the morning. And there's going to be some days when you wake up, it's freezing cold. You know, you've got a long journey in rush hour, bumper to bumper, icy traffic ahead of you. You have that walk into the office where what you know once you get inside the building, there's gonna be a little bit of snow that got in your shoes and makes them a little bit damp. And you're just thinking to yourself, why am I living here? I used to dream about this every winter in Canada for many, many years. That's it, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go sell coconuts on the beach and I'm never gonna come back. Well, guess what? I finally did it. It took me a really long time. And my life here is much better than it was in Canada. Of course, it's not perfect. It's not for everyone. But if you're thinking about it, here is exactly what I did. Let's go. First thing you want to do is think about what is most important to you. So for me, the things I was getting fed up with in Canada, the high taxes, the high cost of living, the low quality of life, right? In Canada, you have a high standard of life and a low quality. In Mexico, it could be easily argued that we have a low standard of living, but a high quality. So for me, I have many beautiful events that I get to go to all the time. It's very rich culturally, this small city that I live in. I also have access to delicious, healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables at a very low price all year round. I have a huge apartment here that I can easily afford. I can travel to the beach easily. I have neighbors and friends who really value quality time, family, cooking, sharing. This is important to me because I don't have a physical family. So I wanted to live somewhere that had these kind of values. I also wanted somewhere that is summer all year round. This made a huge difference for me. You know, I have walked so much that I have put holes in 2 pairs of shoes. My skin is super healthy. My vitamin D serum levels are up for the first time in my life. You know, instead of being brittle, cold, freezing, low in vitamin D, low in nutrition because the fruits and vegetables come across the ocean. in the dark, covered in dust, or they get shipped across, they got to take a big, truck ride from the US or even from Mexico, and then they get to Canada and they got to defrost them and every kind of, they taste like water and they're super expensive. So here I am hydrated, I am nourished, I am fed by the sun, I am fed by the community, my friends, the rich culture, just the ease of living in a place I can freaking afford. What is up with all the expensive prices in Canada? It's not worth it to me. Even if I had like lots of money like I did back in my old YouTube days, it was not worth it to me back then either. So have a look around, go look at expat forums on Reddit, on Facebook, see what people are saying. And another really important thing to consider is visas and residency. Where do you qualify? So look up visa requirement, residency requirements. It's quite easy to come to Mexico. You can come here for 6 months just with your passport and you can stay. If you want to live here, you want to be looking into how to get residency, and these requirements are changing every year. They get more and more difficult to reach. So if you're thinking about it, you want to try to get in as soon as you can. Okay, so next you want to find a place to live. Once you've chosen where you want to live, you want to find an apartment or a house or a condo on the beach. Now, for me, I just simply started joining Facebook expat groups for the cities in Mexico that I was interested in. And I ended up making friends. And I had this one girl, her and I were chatting on Facebook, and then we started talking on the phone. So she just flat out told me like, hey, there's an apartment in my building that's available. I can ask about it if you want. And boom, that was how I got my apartment. You want to make sure you're not getting scammed, because there are a ton of scammers for real estate and apartments on Facebook nowadays. So for me, I did my due diligence. However, it still did not keep my landlord from trying to screw me over when I was leaving. There for a year and a half. By the time I was still there, the other 2 Canadians, including the woman who had gotten me that apartment, had already left. They had gone back to Canada. And I had talked to them and they were like, yeah, I'm never going back. All the Canadian lockdown, the cold winter, like look at all these fruits and vegetables. They didn't make it, they were gone and I was still there. So I think maybe the landlady thought of me as like a sitting duck. I don't think she realized how many friends and neighbors I had in that building and in the community, because, she'd always just see me. I'd be out walking by myself, right? Like I'm usually a pretty solitary person, but when people meet me, we can have a really great connection. And so, yeah, the story of what she tried to pull over on me is hilarious. I wrote all about it in my new ebook, which is basically a handbook guide for women who want to be solo travelers abroad. Living by yourself in another country, going and staying there for a long period of time. People might tell you about, some common scams like gringo pricing, mustard and ketchup scam, or, these like common things. But what are you going to do if you get a bunch of rude text messages, threatening text messages from your landlord in the middle of the night, and you don't know if the landlord is gang-related person or not? What are you going to do, right? There's like questions like this, things that people haven't really thought of, where I detailed all of my experience. The worst things that happened to me in this book are landlords, scams, sex, and money. Which brings me to my third point that you need to consider if you want to leave your country and move somewhere else: money. How are you going to live? How are you going to be able to earn a living to pay for your new lifestyle? In my book, I talk specifically about some of the ways that people I've met here have been making even more money than they made back in their home countries, right? When you are kind of forced to find a new way of living, to make a living online, sometimes really great things can come from it. I also, in this book, talk about emergency online jobs that literally anyone can get. As long as you've got a computer and like a webcam, you can make money, good money, to survive in Mexico. I tried it out and reported back. But when it comes to me personally, you know, I have been working online for 12 years, like officially with my YouTube channel. However, I have always been someone who was intent on finding unique ways to make money. I made money online for the first time when I was in high school. I remember thinking, you know, this could be a scam, but like, let me try it out. And you know what it was? Secret shopping. They wanted me to go to cell phone kiosks, and I would pretend to be a customer, and I'd be like, yes, I'm thinking about getting a cell phone. What would you recommend? And then I'd have to go back and fill out this form online. Did they ask you these questions? Did they try to upsell you? Was the person wearing a name tag? Was the store clean? How many people were there? Was it busy, etc.? So I would just visit, fill out this form, and I'd get like $40. And I remember they were like, put your debit card information, put this and that here, and we'll send you it direct deposit. And it could have been a scam, but it worked out for me. And I did secret shopping, you know, on and off for a few years. My point is that there's always a way to do some kind of unique thing. If you're a smart, intelligent person, you can speak English well, you can pay attention to things, you can fill out forms, you can converse with people. There's always going to be something that you are needed for that you can do. Also, when you're planning to leave the country, sell all of your stuff. Really, really, really. There are so many people I see here who are like, I'm paying thousands of dollars to get, you know, everything delivered to Mexico, and now it's held up in customs, and truck guys disappeared, and now my stuff is gone, and I don't know, like, it's really not worth it. I sold everything on Facebook Marketplace. My UGG boots, my winter coats. You know, it was kind of bittersweet, but I was like, I'm not going to be needing these things anymore. I sold my beloved SUV. It was the right thing. It was the right time. But yeah, I let go of everything, and I bet on myself. I knew that coming here was not going to be easy. I knew that coming here was not going to be easy, but I didn't know how difficult it would be. However, I also had no idea how beautiful, wonderful, and amazing it was. You know, it changed my identity, added a new layer to myself. I'm becoming more of who I am. It would be like if you saw, for example, you know, a lion living in a zoo, and you're like, oh, yeah, lions are pretty boring. They just kind of sit around all day. They're not very strong. They don't do a whole lot. Like, that's what a lion is, right? If you'd only ever seen a lion in a zoo before. What would happen if you set that lion free? You know, like on the savannah, somewhere that's more suited to its biology, to its way of life, then you see it come to life. You know, and for me, I am not well suited for a freezing cold ass individualist country and lifestyle that's all about, you know, making money and getting a car and getting a house and getting a bigger house and getting a bigger car. This is not for me. I want the slow, easy lifestyle. I don't mind if people are late here because I'm late too. And we just relax about it. You know, if everyone kind of expects that everyone else is going to be a little bit late, then everyone's just kind of chill. And I also learned that one of the reasons why Mexican people are late often, if I needed to get somewhere to meet somebody at a certain time, I'd have to walk through my neighborhood, and all my neighbors would come out and want to chit chat with me. It was so nice, you know. So then by the time I got to where I was going, I had lost like an extra 15 minutes. So I learned to plan for these kind of things. I learned how to like sneak around certain areas if I didn't feel like talking to people that day. It's a completely new and different way of life that if I had just stayed afraid in Canada, freezing my butt off, I mean, I never would have known. And the final thing I want to say about money here as well is a lot of people are able to bring their work remote. So if you are already kind of like working from home from whatever job you currently have, it's up to you. Kind of read the room. Is it possible that you could ask to work from home permanently and then get a VPN that makes it look like you're still in your country and go live somewhere else? So that's my entire video. I have been posting more on TikTok. So go ahead and follow me there if you'd like. I'm going to be changing up my content on TikTok. You know, I'm going through this divorce. It really kind of made me bitter for a while there. So I kind of made a bunch of stuff about that and it got popular on TikTok. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. You know, I have a new life. I have parts of my identity that are opening up and blooming, and I want to go into that and not continuing to look in the past. But I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers there, because then I can put a link in my bio and start selling stuff. Also, guess what? I've got merch. If you want to grab some of my merch, you can check it out below the video. If you buy any of it, send me pictures of you with it and I will put it in my videos. Also, I've got a lot more content on my second channel, Adelle Ramcharan ASMR. I want to get that channel monetized. So I need to get to 500 subscribers. So go ahead, click below, go check out my second channel. There's a ton of content on there for those of you who are like, I could listen to you talk all day. Well, you can on that channel, so go check it out. And finally, if you want to book a consultation call with me, please go ahead and do it. I do have some space coming into December, but not after that, because I am working on and planning another retreat for February. So if you want to talk to me, let me know. Also, if you are interested in coming to Mexico, you want to experience what it's like to actually live here and not just be like at a resort drinking on the beach. You want to go to the marketplace and buy a bunch of spices, fruits and vegetables. You want to go to a beautiful jungle coffee shop. You know, you want to go to a world-class restaurant and have these ingredients that are picked fresh from the farmer's field the exact same day. And you want to experience these things with me. I am opening up one-on-one experiences. So go ahead, book the link, a call with me below if you might be interested in that. I would love to help you with that and helping you discover your new identity. Who are you when you're not living in the zoo? When you've stepped out of the rat race? I would love to be your guide. What an honor it has been to be able to do this for many people digitally for so many years. So if instead of spending $2,000 to sit at a concrete resort, drinking a little watered down margarita, looking at a little man-made kind of beach, you want to have a real experience that can also include beautiful rest and beaches, I can show you those too. Go ahead and book me below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.